You must accept that you're married to a sinner, to a being who has been damaged to some degree emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Get used to it. Accept your spouse's faults. Pray your way through them. You might have to live with those faults, but you don't have to obsess over them. If you do, they will eat you alive. A holy and perfect God, through Christ, accepts us as we are. You who are hardly holy and perfect must do the same with your spouse.
False.
She says false. I have one false vote over here. Do I have any other false votes? Okay, we have an A student. You get an A+. Okay, there's something seriously wrong with the way this is stated. Because doesn't it depend on what we mean by one's faults? We have to define that. For instance, is there a difference between making mistakes and choosing evil? Is making an error in your a math error in your check registry and therefore accidentally overdrafting a check the same thing as purposely writing fraudulent checks? Are those the same? Now, on the surface, they could appear the same. Both these people bounced a check. But they're not the same, are they? One's a mistake. One's a human foible, a flaw. I'm not perfect in my math. The other is purposely defrauding somebody, seeking to do evil. See, we have to distinguish the faults that are simply the foibles of our fallen condition versus purposely choosing evil. Yes, we need to accept the foibles, shortcomings, the inabilities of our spouses to do certain things because of physical limitations or cognitive limitations or whatever. Those are the faults we have to accept. But choosing evil, if you have a spouse that knowingly and willfully is choosing evil, should you accept that? Should we accept that? I'm going to give some examples. And why? First, before I give you the examples, why should a spouse who loves their spouse not accept purposefully choosing evil?
Because they want to help their spouse.
Because they love one. Because when you choose evil, it sears your conscience, warps your character, hardens your heart. And if you love your spouse, you don't just simply accept. If you accept, you become a colluder, an enabler, a promoter. It's like going out and buying cocaine for your cocaine-addicted husband. I just accept it.
Would you do that?
It's wrong. And so, examples.
Or food for your food-addicted.
We shouldn't accept the addictions of our spouse for the reason I just gave. Should we accept infidelity? Should we accept our spouse? Well, my spouse just has a problem visiting prostitutes. I just accept that. Should we? Well, it's not prostitutes, just coworkers. Just liaisons with coworkers. I accept that. Should we accept abuse of any kind? Mental, physical, emotional, spiritual, sexual abuse of any kind. Should we accept that? Well, he hits me, but he's never slept with somebody else. Well, he only verbally tears me down. He just tells me I'm stupid and ugly. Should we accept those types of behaviors? Why not? What's it doing to the person who's handing out those types of behaviors?
Damaging them.
It's damaging them. If you love them, you go, whoa, I can't go along quietly with this. I love you too much to see you destroy your soul this way. Should we accept betrayal of our trust? And I don't mean infidelity sexually. I mean betrayal of your trust. You've got a spouse who discloses personal things. You got let go from your job, for instance, and you're not ready to tell your friends yet. And your spouse begins telling everybody before you're ready to tell. Should you accept betrayals? So, what underlying attitude, mindset, motive can we have that actually, if we live under this umbrella, it insulates us from having hard feelings and divisions when the faults that are not choosing evil do come up, because you're going to forget that your spouse asked you to pick something up on the way home. It's going to happen. You're going to have a day when you're a little irritable and you might say something with an edge in your voice. Those things are going to happen. So what's the mindset that you can develop that will protect your marriage from having problems when those things happen? Live under umbrella of love, meaning that you both have a hard attitude that says, I know my spouse isn't perfect, but I know he or she wants to be. I know my wife loves me so much that she never wants to come up short. She never wants to make a mistake. She never wants to have any foibles come out. She wants to be a perfect wife. And so I know when a mistake happens that she's already grieving in her heart because she never wants to make, and I love my wife so much. I want to be perfect. I never want to come up short. I never want to make a mistake. And she knows that when I do, I'm already sick that thing came forward. And when you have an attitude between the two of you like that, then that marriage can easily navigate those moments of shortcomings. But you have to have that heart where you know the spouse is for the other. Tuesday's lesson focuses on our memory verse, which says, Ephesians 4:26, "Be angry and do not sin.